This is Benchmark Happenings, brought to you by Benchmark Home Loans, with Jonathan Tipton and Steve Reed. Now your host, Christine Reed.
Welcome back, everybody, and we are just so excited to, on this podcast today, have two very special guests from not only just a dear friend, but a great business partner. So I want to welcome, we have Patterson Homes, Custom Home Builders. So I have Travis Patterson, who is the owner and builder of Patterson Homes. Welcome, Travis.
Thank you, Christine. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm so glad you took time out of your busy schedule to be with us today.
Anything for you and Steve.
Well, we love you and Amy, and thank you for being here. And we also have another rock star with us today, the CFO, Aiden Moore.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited. We've been talking about it all week. So
yes. So, really, we, here at Benchmark Home Loans, we love to partner not only with the realtors in the area, but also home builders. And we've known each other for, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
It has,
Yeah.
for sure.
And we've watched your business grow, Travis, and just so proud of what you have built in Patterson Homes as a home builder. It's really in this area, people want to be here, and the homes that you all build are beautiful.
Thank you.
And they are, I've just not really seen homes that look like the ones that you guys build. So tell us a little bit about how did Patterson Homes start?
That is a great question. So Amy and I, when we got married 28 and a half years ago, I guess.
28 years?
If I'm doing the math right.
Yes. Yeah. Better sure you get that right, because Amy's going to listen to this.
That is very, very true. Don't want to get it, but I know it better than she.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. So anyway, when we got married, all along the way in the early years, we were building our own, moving every couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a framing company, another builder that was very good to me, taught me a lot. And we were doing our own homes. Then friends, family would call and say, "Hey, we're going to build a house. Would you help me?" Sure. We did that for a while. Then 2006, an incident happened with my employer at the time, and I decided to go get my contractor's license and do it for real. So
wow.
2006 is when it started.
So you took that plunge.
Yes. That was the first plunge that we took. Then in July of 2016, I took the plunge to leave Eastman Chemical Company to do this full time. And after 17 years of working there. Mm-hmm. So it's been since 2016, been doing it full time.
And most people would not do that. Because
sane people would not. That's correct.
It's security, and for you. But have you ever looked back, Travis?
No, I haven't. I mean, there's no doubt, and I tell people this all the time. The people that I worked with there, those were some special relationships.
Yes.
And I missed that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, got special relationships now with people I work with. However, I love what I do, always have, and I don't look back at all in that regard.
That's great. And I love to hear about, we have interviewed several entrepreneurs here on this show, and there's just something different and so unique about people who are entrepreneurs. You're able to take those steps and meet those challenges head on. And I love to hear the stories of success. So Aiden, tell us, what do you love? I mean, you joined, and you are also in the family. So you're married to Travis's daughter, Lauren, who is beautiful, by the way. And so you're part of that family, but you're also the CFO. You're that numbers guy, all this data analytics, and you have a great personality too. Most people that do numbers just don't, what is it? You are a unicorn. That's for right. Sure. So what do you love about the home building process?
Shoot, I love it all. I think my personality isn't quite good enough to make me bad at numbers. I'm not quite good enough with numbers to have a bad personality. So a little bit stuck in between, and I like it that way.
You're being humble now.
I don't know about that. But in 2022, in May, I graduated from Lee University down in Cleveland, Tennessee with my business management degree, and had quite a few opportunities on the table. Really thought I was going to go the corporate route. I had a couple opportunities in different parts of the state and country in that regard. And Travis called a couple times, Amy called a couple times, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go back to the Tri-Cities. I've left and I'm going to spread my wings and make it in the big world and all of that. And it's definitely one of those things that God kept closing other doors and kept pushing this one further open. And so my wife and I, Lauren, decided to come back here, and one of the best decisions we've ever made. And being able to be involved at Patterson Homes and learn the business and learn from the years of experience and expertise that Amy and Travis have, and be able to apply my skill set, which is quite different as far as the numbers and analytics and all of that, being able to see where the numbers are and the stories that they tell.
Yes.
And hopefully, help Amy and Travis make business decisions using those numbers. And so it's been a joy.
That's great. And so, Travis, how does the relationship work? I mean, being family, having the business, and is there ever any sparks that occur between the two of you, or just...
That would be Amy and Aiden having the sparks. Not Aiden and I at all. No, they have a lot of fun in the office. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
it's quite entertaining sometimes to sit back and watch. But to kind of piggyback off what he was saying there about coming back to the Tri-Cities and the doors closing. Not that Amy and I were praying that the doors would close.
Sure.
And he would bring my daughter back to this area. No, we really didn't do that, but glad it worked out the way it did.
Yes, absolutely. And I can just tell that you guys are such a wonderful family and very close knit, and that's beautiful to see that. So you're a great testimony to what a family can look like. So thank you for that. And so tell us a little bit about Patterson Homes. I was on the website. You guys are like, it's top notch. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautifully designed. So tell us a little bit about Patterson Homes and how it's structured. So for both of you, please feel free just to share and let us know how that works.
Yeah, I can tell you from a high level, then Aiden may jump in and give you more of the details, filling gaps. So we had a vision for what we wanted it to look like when we started, right? And nobody else here in the Tri-Cities was really doing it that way. But we did find another builder that's a custom home builder in Greenville, South Carolina, who was doing what we wanted to do. So they were kind enough to spend time with us. Amy and I went over and visited, got to ask them lots and lots of questions about how they do what they do, how they put it together, how does it function, who does what, that kind of stuff, right? So we spent a lot of time with them learning. They were way, way ahead of us, obviously. We still haven't caught up because they continue to grow and get better, but we've come a long way in structuring the way we have, which is modeling after them. And what that is a design build. There's not a truly custom home builder in this area that's large enough to have their own in-house architecture department. So we've partnered with a third party to do that piece, to draw those things for us, but we stay involved in the design process. We sit in the meetings, give our input, help the customer get what they want, and relay information between the architect as well as the customer, although they communicate directly as well. But we're very involved in design. We also help the customer pick out all the finishes, inside and out, on the front end of the process before we even start doing any building at all. So we basically want to build the home on paper before we get started. There's a lot of work that goes into that. We spend a lot of time on the front end before we even move the first piece of dirt to start the home. That is a very unique thing in East Tennessee, the level of detail we go into before we start. It has eliminated a lot of heartache that we found that happens after you start building, when you have cost overruns and customers would say, why did this happen? Well, we just gave you an estimate. We didn't know what you really wanted.
And then it becomes a nightmare.
Yes. And it's stress for everyone,
Yes.
including the builder. And we didn't like that. I don't like confrontation. I like to be creative on the front end and a little bit during the build as well, but without breaking the bank to do those kind of things. But we want to make the customer aware. You know, we do this all the time where the customer comes to us even after we've started building and say, hey, we want to do this, this, and this. And we're like, okay, before we pull the trigger on that, let us estimate the cost for that so that you make an informed decision about what you're saying yes to. That way there's no surprises. And that process works really well for us. It eliminates a lot of the stress and a lot of those tough conversations that you might have to have later if you don't do it. It's just been an evolution. Experience is the best teacher. It's definitely taught us to do what we do the way we do it.
And I love that, you know, because we always say in the mortgage industry, like getting a home loan, it's the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. It's also can be very stressful. Jonathan and Steve are great about holding their hand, walking them through the process. You guys have had experience with us here, but also building a home is extremely stressful.
Yes.
And I love how your design process is doing so much work and planning on that front end, getting those costs, getting those estimates so that the customer knows, the client, really it's a client, it's a friend, and they become more than just the customer, and they send you more business. And so that's always great.
You're exactly right. And my team will tell you, I say this all the time, and I've said this since I started building. When I finish a home, I want it to be such that I'm friends with the clients.
Yes.
That they would invite me over for a barbecue, right? And fortunately, that happens most of the time. Very fortunate to be able to do that, right? So that is our goal. Like that is the goal, is to finish it in such a way that they're happy with their home, happy with how the budget turned out, happy with now, it doesn't mean there's no stress at all. There's still some stress in the process.
And just having to make so many decisions is stressful, right? I mean, I think about looking at handles for cabinetry.
Yep.
There's a million different handles to choose from.
Yes.
And your team does a beautiful job doing that. So, Aiden, what would you like to add to that design process and how you're involved in this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Travis hit the nail on the head as far as the work that we do on the front end. I think is one of the biggest things that sets us apart and allows us to do what we do the way we do it. Because there's a lot of different ways to do it, and each way is right for each person. But the way that we want to build homes and maintain relationships, that front end work, and you gave the example talking about home loans, and I actually bought a home in the last year, and y'all did the home loan for me. And I remember when I first talked to Steve about it, he said, all right, I'm going to get some things together for you. And we had a Zoom call, and he had a whole PowerPoint drawn up, and he walked me through every piece. And it wasn't just, here's a number, here's a sheet of paper. It's a partnership, and it's a relationship. And Steve educated me and informed me. And that's the same thing we want to do with our customers. We want it to be a partnership where we're helping them in every way possible and educating them along the way. So when they're building their dream home, it'll be as seamless as possible throughout, and they'll be making informed decisions, and they'll feel secure about their decision makings, because they'll know they're not just saying yes to a builder. They're actually looking at it themselves as well. And so it does take some time and effort, and it's a serious front end process, but it's absolutely worth it as we go out throughout the build and after the build as well. So.
Yeah. And are you helping also to get those estimates so that people understand what that cost is going to be? I mean, we know it can't be exact, but at least there's no, like you said, no hard conversations at the end.
Absolutely. And that's a big piece of the front end process. So not only are they building their house on paper as far as finishes and, selections and every detail of what they want it to look like, but based on that, we're not getting an estimate on a 2,600 square foot house sitting on a hill. We're estimating their house. We're getting quotes and estimates and bids from vendors and subcontractors on the exact, brushed nickel cabinet pole in this bathroom that they want, not just on some cabinets. And so I think that lends to a really high level of accuracy on our estimation process. And so then before we break ground, everybody's on the same page. And of course, there's variability in every area and everything that you do. But I'd like to think that, our process on the front end lends to some of the most accurate estimating in the region here. So,
yeah. And that's another thing that experience taught us. So, like some years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, probably, somebody would bring us a plan and something they'd bought off the internet, whatever, hand it to us and say, what's it going to cost to build this? Well, I would use my educated guessing, take that plan, and I could turn out a budget in an hour, maybe 2, depending on how big it was, with a lot of guesswork and say, here's what it's going to cost to build it. And they're like, oh, great. That's cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Not having a clue that customer wanted, wolf appliances or whatever, make slate roofs or whatever. I just did it with the asphalt shingles because that's what most houses have, right? So you did it making a lot of assumptions about what a customer would want, and you could turn out an estimate, but then you had a lot of heartache on the back end during the process when they would get their invoices and say, wait, your estimate said this and I'm double that. So those estimates, while they're quick and easy on the front end, they're really painful later. So we've got rid of that part of the process. And Aiden is our estimate guy now. He takes care of all the numbers, and the way he documents it all is phenomenal. It really is. He's taking it to a whole new level. That
is so valuable. And, we, you're talking about that, Jonathan and Steve constantly get phone calls. What's your rate? What's your rate? What's your rate? Well, you know what? It's not like that. So it's really the same.
Yes.
But what I love what Patterson Homes is doing, you guys are continually learning. You're continuing to perfect your process. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but you don't approach a client with a preconceived idea of what this home's going to look like. What I'm hearing from you, the two of you today, is that you allow it to evolve as you build it on paper. And that way it's truly that customized home for that family.
Absolutely. And the truth is, it can continue to evolve to a degree after we start. The secret to that is whatever changes happen, we need to, number one, document them so that we have them in our system, the software that we use to run our business, basically, as well as inform the customer, here's what impact that has, cost-wise or feature-wise, whatever the case may be. So there's some changes. We don't just say, once we get it built on paper and we start, you can't change anything. You can, as much as you want, really, but it costs money. And let's talk about that before we pull the trigger on anything. We do a lot of that.
Yes. And so let's talk about COVID. So what kind of challenges were you faced with during COVID with building?
Yeah, it was difficult for sure. In a lot of different ways. So obviously supply chain. So, when window packages, one in particular took about 10 months to arrive after we ordered. Garage doors were another problem, getting those. So we had to adapt our process really quick, and we did. Mm-hmm. So we moved up the timing in which we ordered things to the point that we would order windows before we broke ground. And sometimes, in some cases, we waited 6 or 8 months to break ground after we ordered windows because it was going to be pointless to get the house framed up and sit there and wait until the windows arrived. That was just pointless. So we had to adjust our timing because of COVID. Here's you something really interesting, though, that happened to us during COVID. Mm-hmm. Because of the hard work that was done long before COVID came along by my wife, and it's one of our secrets that we won't disclose here, we were getting, before COVID, we would get 30 people contacting us a month about building. During COVID, that went to 400 a month.
Oh, my goodness.
Month after month. So we had to quickly adapt once again and change our process. So we developed a front end process that says, tell us about what you're wanting to build, where you're wanting to build it, give us as much information as possible, because there was no way we could meet with 400 people a month. Mm-hmm. So we come up with a process that helps us to narrow down who we could really help, who we could really partner with to build their home. And there were some that were not really in our wheelhouse of what we do. And we didn't just ignore those people. We told them, hey, this really doesn't fit what we do. Mm-hmm. You should look these other places to get what you're looking for. So we developed a front end process for that. Now we're back to normal levels of 30 or 40 a month.
Okay.
With the same process still in place.
So where do you see the market headed for building? Aiden, what are you seeing now? Are things slowing down? Are they picking up, or?
Yeah, it's really interesting, especially in the region that we're in, because there's some pieces of the puzzle that, this region's a little bit sheltered from, and some areas that it's exposed to, and even in a positive way. Looking at a lot of the demographics of people moving into this region, we've seen, a boom of people moving. I think Jeff Fleming, who's moved to Kingsport and gives a lot of great information. One of the statistics he put out in his 2023 annual report is that there was 642, I believe, new families from outside of the region that moved into Northeast Tennessee in 2023. And so in the past year and a half or so, we've built homes for people from Montana, California, Colorado, Wisconsin, Texas, all over. And so I think, and this is a lot of what you guys highlight here.
Yes.
I think there's one part of this external national market that's going to influence everything, but there's also what's going on locally. And that's that Northeast Tennessee has become a growing spot. It's a hot spot. It's a hub for a lot of people that are looking at a place where they can raise a family, looking at a place where they're kind of free of some of the difficulties of living in other big cities and states.
The divisiveness. We can say that. This is free Tennessee.
Exactly. Exactly. And, tax setup's not bad either. And so there's a lot of things drawing families and people to the region. So I think the regional growth is what we've been noticing. I think will continue. But then also on the national level, as you guys know a lot more about than we do, I think as rates, hopefully drop back down here and things settle down, that could, spike things as well. But I think we're poised for continued growth. I don't think an explosion, but I think, continued steady growth of this region and of new home buyers. And it's exciting.
It is exciting. And so let's talk about houses. I mean, so many people moving here. We, same thing with Benchmark Home Loans. Just, we get so many people from different states that are moving here. Do we have enough houses here in this area?
That is a great question. Yeah. So, it's unique for us because our customers are custom homes. So you can't track build enough homes to suit that need. It don't work. Obviously you hear a lot about MLS data, and there's a lot of people that put out publications and information about numbers and statistics of homes sold in this area versus this area. That's all MLS data. None of the data, we're not included in that at all.
Okay.
Custom home building never gets recorded.
I did not know that.
In MLS. So I've had some conversations with some of those people that put out those publications to say, you're missing a big piece of what's really happening in our market. I don't know if it's just impossible for them to track, although building permits would help.
Right.
That captures everything.
You would think they would just go and pull those building permits to get that data, or maybe they're not privy to it. I don't know.
You can sign up for that and subscribe to it. Builders First Source, one of our suppliers, gets that monthly report so they can track who they can sell material to. So anyone could get it. These guys just don't do that, and that's okay. But their data is not the whole truth. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because they're reporting a lot of spec homes sold information that is really lower end. I don't mean that in a bad way, but the custom homes are typically the more expensive homes, and they get missed completely until they're resold.
And we've got whole neighborhoods going up that are all custom homes in this area.
Yes.
So do you do any spec homes, or has things just changed to where you're focusing on custom at Patterson?
Yeah, we've always tried to have the versatility to go either direction, although I've said it 100 times to our team, our bread and butter is custom home building. It's what we're built for. It's what our processes are designed for. Although we have built some spec homes, really, it started out just trying to showcase some features that we wanted people to see. Things our designer would say, hey, why don't we do this? It's like, all right, let's build some houses so you can do that and let people see it. So, but right now, we do not do spec homes. I own some lots that I could do it on, but our custom business is just at 100% capacity. So that's what we're doing.
And so you're taking what you guys do best. You're taking care of those clients and your custom processes. So, Aiden, what do you love about being at Patterson Homes?
I love being able to be a part of the team. I think that's a big piece of it, being around people who encourage each other and are all driven to be better. There's no one that's okay standing still at Patterson Homes, and I love that. And so there's a lot of push for improvement in every area of your life. But I think one of the best parts is just being able to watch families and customers walk into their dream home. Like, it's a beautiful process and really special that we, are honored and humbled by the opportunity to be a part of, this dream for our customers. And it's, it never gets old seeing that part of it.
Well, and you guys really live by faith and family. And I think that's so important, your faith in God and how you live that out. So what does the future look like for Patterson Homes as we wrap up?
You want to tackle that one since you are the future?
Yeah, I'll tackle that one. I've got a great answer. And it comes from Proverbs, and it says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose prevails. And we can do a lot of forecasting, and we do a lot of forecasting and analysis, and what are the next step, and how's the region changing, and how are we changing and evolving. But at the end of the day, I've known at every step in my life, as soon as I think I know what the next 5 years are going to be, God's got something bigger and better, completely different. But I think with that in mind, the goal at Patterson Homes is continuing to be relationship first, quality first, maximizing what we can do to serve each other, to serve our community, and to build beautiful homes the way we are. And so without getting too far down the road, keeping our feet planted where we're at and doing our best every day at what we're doing. So,
well, I think that sums it up perfectly, Aiden. And I know that we're going to have another podcast to I really want to talk about the culture at Patterson Homes. I think you guys have really, we love our culture here at Benchmark. It's been a lot of hard work. It's not easy. It's very intentional. And I know that you guys have implemented a lot, being very intentional in your culture, and so many places don't even know what that is. So I want to thank both of you for being on here today. It's been just a joy to have you both and to hear more about what you do and how you love providing beautiful homes for families. So Travis, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Aiden. And so how they can find you is go to just search Patterson Homes.
Yes. phcustom.com.
All right. That's good. So everybody remember that. If you're looking for a custom home, please reach out to Patterson Homes, Travis. So
thank you, Christine and Steve. We love you guys. Thanks for all you do to help us as a partner. Y'all are sweet, wonderful people.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you. It's
Thank
a privilege.
you so much.
It's a privilege. All right, guys. Well, we'll tune back in again soon. So thank you all.
Thank you.